Okay, so we're going to start off with introductions, and the icebreaker for today is, what did you enjoy doing over this rainy weekend? So I'm Joanne Roberts, and I am a consultant for the EC initiative through Vital Communities. And my husband and I were able to get our walks in between the rain, which was great. And we finished off a 1,000-piece bird puzzle that I was getting rather frustrated with. I skipped out, watched a bit of Netflix while he got some of the harder pieces done, and then I came back, swooped back in, and felt like I was helping because it was much easier to find the pieces at that point. So it was a relaxing weekend. I didn't mind the rain too much. So welcome, Alexa. You just popped out. Okay, we'll hop on to, oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself and let us know what you'd like to do over the rainy weekend?
Sure. My name is Alexa Plever, and I am the Executive Director of the Cheshire Children's Museum in Keene, New Hampshire. So a little bit farther south of most of you, but I'm excited to join this group and hear about it. And over the weekend, we had my son's 3rd birthday party. He's a May 31st baby. So we welcomed friends and family and enjoyed some time together.
That sounds wonderful. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Amy. How are you today?
I am doing okay. I'm Amy Brooks, Executive Director of the Early Care and Education Association. And I got everything in the ground. Everything is planted. So, and then it rained, which is great. So I didn't have to get the hose out and deal with that. So that's a big win for me.
Well, now I'm going to have to catch up because my garden is still a mess. So I'll be off to catch up with you, Amy. Hey, Jesse, how are you today?
Hi there. Hi, everybody. I am Jessie Rady. I'm a program officer with the Couch Family Foundation. And this weekend, I postponed my yard sale that was planned, but that gave me more time to actually get ready for it, which I was not. So spent a lot of time sorting, and we'll hopefully have some sunnier weather next weekend to do the yard sale.
Sounds like a good plan. Hi, Sean. Oh, we can't hear you. Your audio is still out. We'll come back. Hi, Damien. How are you today? We're just talking about what we did over the rainy weekend. Welcome.
Doing well. Yeah, it was a busy rainy weekend. Did anybody else get a hail where they were at?
Oh, I didn't.
On Friday night, we got a huge dumping of hail, like in the middle of the storm. That was impressive. We don't see too much of that up here.
No. Interesting. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So today is a day where with Alexa joining our group, I would like to talk about the work that Alexa's been focusing on called the Bringing It Home Project. Can you give us a bit of background on that, please?
Of course. So we in the Monadnock region, we're working with Keene State College, Monadnock United Way, Hannah Grimes, the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, and Monadnock Economic Development Corporation to launch this project called the Bring It Home Project. It's a CDFA tax credit program. We submitted for $500,000. And the goal of the program is to open or grow 10 family-based childcare providers. But with that, we're also providing them with the entrepreneurial training through Hannah Grimes, educational training through Keene State College, and then sustained funding through the Monadnock United Way. So it's really, and we've created a collaborative, a cohort for these women. There's 6 women in it currently. We've met 4 times. So it's really shining a light to family-based childcare in the region and to change the perception of family-based care from kind of granny hanging out watching kids in the basement as they run around, to this really is a professional, credentialed field that a lot of women and men are going into because they can't go back into the workforce, because they can't cover childcare costs. They have an interest in opening a childcare business. 3 of them have master's degrees. So it's really trying to take a creative and innovative approach to the childcare crisis that not only faces our region, the state, but really is a nationwide issue right now. So we find out on June 15th if we've been awarded through the CDFA to launch it. And then we will be between June and September, hopefully selling about $125,000 worth of tax credits to lift this program the beginning of December to start renovating homes.
That sounds really interesting. And I'm wondering, Amy, were you familiar with this project? It sounds a little bit like what you are doing in the Upper Valley, and I'm wondering where there could be some connections with, or because of our locations, are we separate?
Yes, Alexa and I know each other pretty well.
Oh.
The group makes referrals if it's in our region, and because it falls under our homegrown, which is similar to what they are doing. So yeah, we've been working together through the grant. There was some PDG money that came for family childcares, and Alexa actually graciously, if we had had more time, we could have really capitalized on it, but using some of the discount opportunities that the Children's Museum has for purchase power, which we will keep in our back pocket for the future. It was very quick turnaround.
It was.
Like week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks for some people, especially those who had trouble with the contract. So yeah, we're still learning. Alexa, I did want to know, do you guys cross the state border? Are you supporting Vermonters, or is it just for?
We are. So there's one other piece to the Bring It Home project, is where the CDFA tax money is going, is each of these providers can receive up to $35,000 to renovate their homes to get them to be fully either licensed family providers or family-based centers. So that's really the third prong of it. It's the educational, the entrepreneurial, and then the renovation piece of it. We are looking to work with families and providers outside of New Hampshire and the Monadnock region. They wouldn't qualify for the Bring It Home project, but they would absolutely qualify to be part of the cohort that we're building. We're trying to connect all the family-based providers that are siloed and really give them a platform to share information, share curriculum, funding resources, and just have someone that supports them. I did family-based childcare for many years, and it's very isolating work. And unless you have the formal education and background to pursue, again, the education, the entrepreneurial, or the funding, many of these programs are not sustainable. So we're trying to create and grow sustainable programs. So there's kind of no limit. If you want to be part of this cohort, whether you're in New Hampshire or Vermont or up in the Upper Valley region, we're really trying to connect as many family-based providers as we possibly can.
I have 2 questions. One of the things that came up in the Upper Valley was exactly what we were talking about, building an additional bathroom or fencing or playground. Are those funds available for people in the Upper Valley?
They're not through the Bring It Home project. One of the major goals of this is that we create the framework to bring this type of program to different regions in the state and nationally. So with working with Amy, and there's really no other programs that are really tailored to family-based providers. So if we figure out how to launch this successfully and bring in different community partners and businesses, then we'll share that framework and success to pathway to success to other regions in the state as well.
That makes a lot of sense. When do the students in the program or participants in the program go to Keene State? Is it virtual? Do they have to be in person? Is it on Saturdays, or what does their format look like?
Yep. So we are offering, Keene State actually developed a 3-year accelerated ECE degree for people that are interested in this cohort. We are having them start in September, both in a business lab through Hannah Grimes to get the business planning and understanding. And then if they want to take courses through the preschool development grant that Amy had referred to, then that starts in September as well.
It's really exciting. I'm glad that you and Amy have connected, because we've talked about similar things in this group, and it takes a lot to launch something like that. So I appreciate all the time and effort it took to make the connections to make that happen, and that you're willing to share the model out, because that's what we're also trying to do here, is develop something that can be replicated somewhere else, or at least be the font of information between different organizations to say, oh, we know where you can go to get this or that, and we can help get there. So that's fantastic. Any questions for Alexa from our group? I know, Amy, you were connected. And Sean, did your audio work, or are you still off? Yeah, you're still off. Okay.
I had one question, Alexa. I'm just curious what the museum's role is in this. I mean, you're clearly involved in developing the program itself, but is the museum playing another role in it as well, or how are you all involved as a, you know,
Yep.
as your own institution?
The role of the museum, my role as a consultant is funded through the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation as a family-based childcare consultant. We are using the museum really as a platform to identify interested participants and using it as a facility to host the cohort and other trainings that might come through. So we at first had talked about doing it through Keene State College, but found that there might be some either adversity to it, or just people not being willing to step into that academic environment so quickly. So we thought the museum is a very neutral ground. It's accessible to everybody. And when we meet, we provide staff to cover childcare for the participants. So many times, individuals can't get to trainings or be part of something, even an introductory lecture, because they don't have anyone to watch their children. By doing it and hosting at the Children's Museum, we're able to take that barrier away to really open this opportunity up to anyone that is truly interested. And there's a process. So once someone comes to us and said, I'm interested in learning more about this, we do a basic application. We go out to the family's home. We see if it's a viable source for it. We look at educational background, where are they coming from? What's their experience? And then we really work to tailor programs and activities to each individual as well, the group, to make sure that everyone is meeting the needs that they have.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Fantastic. Thank you. A few meetings ago, I was asked to connect with Sharon Harrington about compensation and scales, and she sent back information. So her suggestion is to be sure members have reviewed the resources on their website, Advancing as a Profession. So there's the link there. There's also a recording. There's a minimum compensation proposal as of fall 2022. I'll just click on that. Oops, that's the video. There was, there's also some kind of report. I remember looking at it. It might be the NACI information, the percentages that she shared with us as a group. And what I learned from conversations with Joanne Conroy and Dartmouth College is that there is an interest in taking all of the different reports that are out there, combining them into kind of an upper valley report. So I think we'll get more information. For example, Kim Voda and others have done a lot of work. Is it Vada or Voda, Amy? Vada. So pronounce the O like an A in my head. Okay. To connect with the sources because there's so much research that has been done. So we're hoping that that will move forward. Amy, do you want to give us a bit of an update on your workforce pipeline work and what's happening in Love?
Sure. So last week, our candidates were released from our program, and I'm waiting for updates. We have an update meeting on Mondays with my staff and find out what the status is on their employment, if they're staying in the sub pool or if they have already been employed. I know that they were interviewing around the Upper Valley, which is great. The modular is finally being delivered on Thursday. We did finish all of the, I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, all of the application stuff is in for the town. We had put off the delivery. I think that was the third time. So they are coming Thursday. So I will be driving down to make sure that goes well. And hopefully that will be up and running for the launch of our June 26th cohort. I know Tanika said that she had 2 or 3 interviews just today coming up for the career cultivator. So I'm hoping for at least 10 in each cohort. It'd be great to have 15. The workforce trainer position at the ECEA was approved by the board. So I am interviewing this week for workforce trainers who will be taking over most of the work for that program, as well as training mentors, as well as I'm in the process of an MOU with New Hampshire Tech with the CDA, an additional module that the ECA has built would be transferable, and NHTI will credit them with 6 to 9 credits. So that would put them on even though they have the CDA, it would put them into the college track. I have not heard of anything on the RFP. I don't believe we're going to get it. I'm kind of relieved about that because it was sort of a distraction to we created the RFP around what was doable for 2.4 million, which actually comes down to 2.1 with the fiscal. A lot of that was just really dreaming big to do statewide. So we did it within what we could manage and what could be actually, be useful for the state. And it didn't score high from what I understand because of that. And there were some outside applications that scored higher with bigger dreams, which is great. So we are full steam ahead with our program. So we're looking at a summer cohort, 2 summer cohorts, one for 16-year-olds to high school graduation, and then one from high school graduate and up in general population. We also are kind of tagging in, Joanne will have to talk. I know Tanika's discovered at least one, and we've circled back with a potential other that is in need of a high set or GED, I'm not sure where they're from, and so that they can participate. So we'll be looking at that. There was a significant number of those people kind of wandering out there since 2020. You have down the ECEA UV retreat. Did you want me to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure if folks in this group just heard about it. So just a quick overview of maybe the takeaways from that great retreat.
So we tried something a little different with the feedback from the Falls retreat. And that was that they really wanted more networking time. And they also were very shocked and surprised at the amount of resources that were out there. So what we did was we started off the morning kind of shedding a little bit of what has happened over the past many years. And the theme was cultivation, renewal. So we had them rip up their pieces of paper after they wrote down the things that drove them crazy for the past few years and put them into a planter box to, kind of make manure out of it and make it something grow, and believe it or not, something is growing. And then really focusing on what was at their fingertips to move forward, renewal. So we gave them a lot of, time to talk, to kind of, bridge what is current and what is possible. And then we invited a lot of different people for resources to integrate with them. And it was not only valuable, from what I understand from the resource providers, to have firsthand knowledge and discussion with providers, including Joe Kenny came. We had Sarah Vecchiotti, Sarah Kobalinski. We had the Grafton County Resource Development or Regional Development. We had the Sullivan County version, which was Allison. I can't even remember. We had invited Bev Widger. We wanted to make sure that we had as many resources as we could there. Lisa Bazogan from Waypoint was there. And we gave them like 2.5 hours in the afternoon to just networking. And then because there's so much information for them to kind of take in. And I remember just before the retreat, I had remembered coming home from conferences with these business cards and forms and a folder that I never actually revisited. I came up with this idea to put sheets of paper with the resource providers on, and then we gave them stickers that had their name, their contact information, telephone number, email, center name, all of that on the sticker. So all they had to do is take the sticker off and put it on the resource provider's page, and then the resource provider got a copy of that. So it's a resource provider. So say it's the Family Resource Center, they would have a list of 5 names of people interested in more about the Resource Center, and then Lisa can contact them because they will not have the time to contact her. And it worked. That was very successful. And they asked for another one in the fall. The comments were amazing about how they really feel like the ECA is there for them. It is, one of the comments was that early childhood ECE professional organizations always say that they represent providers, but they don't really, cover any topics or do anything that they want. They said the ECEA very much is directed by us. It is our work. And it was awesome. It was great to have those comments. So, and the food again was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to the fall. It's going to be a high bar to try to reach again, but I'm sure you and your team will be able to do that. Sean, how are you doing with your audio?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Most people don't want to hear me, so that works out very well. Okay. Progress in the EC facility. I think not much has changed since the last time I talked in terms of the footprint pieces of that. I'm expecting a couple of contracts, one for the energy and sustainability components, a consultant to work on that this week. And also the geotechnical engineering firm, I expect a contract from them for me to sign so they can begin their work out there. The architects are starting to further define the spaces, and once we get that, the construction management firm REARC, they're out of Burlington, Vermont, will be working on the cost estimate pieces for us. So we're on schedule like we're supposed to be. We don't have dates yet for the public, the additional community conversations. One's scheduled for July, August, we think, and there'll be one in the fall as well. Right now we're on track to have those, and we'll actually have something to show. The other key part of that is when we have so-called glossy documents, something to be able to show, that's when the fundraising effort really needs to really begin. So we can say, look, this is a 20,000 square foot building. This is what, at least the conceptual plans, what it looks like. And then here's the programming components of that, and go out and start selling that and try to get donations, which is critical. Chris is ready for that. I have a breakfast in London tomorrow, Boys and Girls Club, their annual breakfast, which is their fundraiser. They raised $100,000 in one breakfast last year. So hopefully they'll do the same this year. We'll be doing that up here once, that's for operational level expenses. We'll be doing that up here once they begin operations up here as well. So that's it. And we have a meeting next week. Is it next week?
Yep,
yes. Yeah, on Tuesday with the advisory group, just regarding the draft contract that I have sent out. I want to go through that with them and just talk and get some feedback from them on that. SB 221, that has been retained by the House Committee, Special House Committee on Childcare. Not sure why they chose to retain it, why they didn't just pass the study committee, but the documents that indicate that the status update and the website says that they retained it. So, which allows them to work over the summer with it. But again, I'm not sure why they didn't just pass the amended bill, which called for a study committee, but that's the decision they made. And that's it for me.
Thank you. So we're aware of the veto of the child care bill in Vermont. So I'm hoping to connect with Emily Tannenbaum or somebody from Let's Grow Kids to perhaps give us an update on how we can best support their next set of efforts. I'm going to talk a bit about the meeting with Joanne Conroy, Sarah Kay, myself. Joanne Conroy prepared a shorter document for Sion. Amy was able to review that and provide some information, and that got sent back to Joanne Conroy. So at this point, the Vital Communities work is done, providing that information, making sure it's accurate, and now it's in the hands of Joanne Conroy, probably Rick Mills and Sion, and we hope to hear back from them. A lot of what was in that document connected directly with the retreat, the asks of people in the retreat. So we are continuing those conversations and building those relationships. There's a lot of interest in supporting ECE from those two organizations in the Upper Valley. Any other business before we finalize our goals for today?
I just wanted to make sure, Sean, the advisory committee, was that the group from the ECEA or is that a different group?
Oh, that's your group. Yeah.
Okay.
That's your group. Yeah.
Good to know that we're in the right group. It's kind of like we're going on tour with this ECE kind of band wherever we go. Excellent. So we joined the two committees, and I'm going to make this a little smaller. Hold on a second. We came up with a shortened version of the North Star to be identify, develop, and evaluate strategies that promote by-state sustainability, supporting the retention and recruitment of early childhood educators. And then from that, we took what we used to have in there and built those into individual action steps. So our first major action step is to build public awareness of ECE as a profession. So working with the advocacy group, the Week of the Young Child, perhaps podcasts. I was contacted by Jackie Cowell Thursday, I think. And she was putting together a short video of shout out of support for ECE providers. So I, as wearing my Superintendent of Lebanon hat and also Vital Communities hat, just did a short, 26-second, just we appreciate what you do. You are the first educators. So any way that we can connect, not only in the Upper Valley, but with the larger Vermont and New Hampshire support systems, we're doing that. We do have folks coming from ELNH attending meetings, which is great. So we'll be able to build on that goal. The second one is to connect early childhood educators to networks, providing business-related technical assistance and capital access to optimize their business operations, lower operation costs, and increase their capacity. It kind of piggybacks with Alexa's work and Amy's work, but also expanding into potential loan fund avenues, just to let people know what resources are out there. And
Joanne, just on that, you got USDA banks. I think you mean USDA low interest loans. Is that correct?
yes. Thank you. Oops, can't spell. There we go. The third goal was to try to identify and support opportunities for cooperative procurement But then when we talked a bit deeper about this, we thought that we might have somebody come and just talk to this group about it, but it wasn't something that we wanted to put a lot of time and energy into as a specific goal, but just keep on awareness of what is happening, both locally and statewide. Then identify means to decrease startup costs for new ECE professionals, which is what Alexa was talking about, Amy was talking about. There already are guides for new startups that Amy has shared, and Let's Grow Kids has a lot of information that's already available out there. We really want to support the directors currently in the field, but also build capacity for people who are going into that level of the profession. ECE information for Vermont and New Hampshire ECE professionals has been shared with Vital Community's website. So rather than us trying to duplicate everything on those sites, we are linking to those sites so that we can make sure the information is up to date and accurate. And then the last, sure.
Can we add to 5 and just say to keep an eye on the work that's happening in Cheshire County?
Under here,
Under the building family childcare, keep an eye on that. Like I said, it's escaping me, bringing it home.
The Bring It Home project.
We
Yeah,
can just
we're really interested in finding out how we can learn from the work that you guys are doing up in the Upper Valley, what's being done in the Monadnock region, and really just kind of start to collaborate and get a little accelerated pace for both of our regions.
I don't know if it's 4 or 5, because we had talked about, I can't see it and I'm trying to scroll into your screen share. It won't move. I think it would go there, like, let's see.
after Wonder School,
Yeah.
or make it a separate thing.
So a guide for new startups, yes, and then just kind of like bringing it home, collaborate. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Amy, would you share those guides that you've developed? Would you send me that? Or
Sure.
show me where I can get access to it? Thank you.
And Alexa, could you share the curricula that the participants experience through Keene State, what the courses might look like, or their overview, the little
Yep.
syllabus kind of thing? I'd be interested in seeing that for sure. Thank you. And we wrapped it up with number 6, which is informing the advocacy committee of opportunities to support ECE efforts. At that point, we weren't quite sure where the Vermont child care bill was heading. So we also would be adding here Vermont child care. In connecting with Senator Prentice and other influencers, John and I were talking about maybe connecting with her over the summer at some point, or early fall, whatever's necessary to let her know that we are here through Vital Communities as well as the city, and could be able to push out information and get people engaged, and making it really simple for them to either come and through the advocacy group organize people going to provide stories and situations in person, or video, or short social media posts, something to wrap everyone's attention around this work and really galvanize it and push it forward. So a lot of conversation between this committee and the advocacy committee to keep everybody on the same page, I think we thought was really important. Do these goals still make sense to folks?
Joanne, I just want to add a couple of things. You probably didn't hear, but at noontime, the governor said he wasn't going to run for president, and he was hinting that he was going to go into the private sector.
Really?
So we're going to have an interesting gubernatorial race. It might be good to invite these candidates to advocacy or some setting where we can talk about the needs that we have in the Upper Valley. Cindy Warmington, our executive counselor, obviously this is her region. It might be good to get a meeting scheduled with these candidates whoever they might be as the next couple of weeks and months go by.
Absolutely. Did Commissioner Edelblut make any comment today? No.
Not that I know. The only thing that came on Channel 9 was the issue of the governor was not going to run for president, and there was some information that led everybody to believe that he was going to be going into the private sector. So we'll see what actually happens there, whether he decides to run or not. But either way, we're going to have gubernatorial candidates that'll be running, and it will be good to invite them so we can make sure that we get this issue on their radar screen.
Absolutely. Keep me connected with that, or, let me know how I can stay connected with that to be able to find the best time to coordinate those efforts. And the Zoom's really simple for people to hop on to, so they don't have to worry about driving out. So I would love to be that bridge for that work. Did you
So
have?
we should talk to advocacy and just run this by them, and because this is more their bailiwick, and and actually get a meeting scheduled with them and get as many people as we can to be on that, to listen in on that conversation. That would be good, because they want a crowd, obviously, to speak to.
What is Cindy's last name?
Warmington.
And her
No,
role?
WAR.
And who is she?
She's our executive counselor. She's running for governor, Democratic candidate.
And the timing of something like that, are you picturing it in August or?
Yeah, do it this summer, because as we get closer to election day, that you're going to have less time. We want to get them on our radar screen soon.
Fantastic. Did you say you had another idea as well?
Just that all these races are going to be open, people running for different offices, and making sure we meet with them and discuss the issues and make sure they understand what our concerns are is going to be important.
Okay.
Because people are going to run for her office.
Right.
And that's important to us as well.
Right. Thanks for that. Any other changes or thoughts in regard to our goals? So these goals are going to lead us basically from June into probably early September. Then we'll relook at these goals in early September, because things are changing so much, and then build from, let's say, late August, early September into December, and kind of chunk the year that way. And it's exciting that New Hampshire moved as far as it did in regard to ECE this year, and that's been such a loud, which is good, a strong presence in Vermont as well. So what I will do, if it's okay with this group, is clean these up a bit and bring them to the next steering committee meeting, so the steering committee members can take a look at them and see where we're heading and what we're doing. I have for our next meeting, it is 2 weeks from today, so June 19th. And I was thinking of not holding meetings in July, or would you like to hold a meeting at the end of July, which would be the 24th, to check in and just see where we are, where things landed? I'm open to everybody's ideas. Should I post it till July 4th, and I could push something out and say, hey, do we want to meet or not? What works for you?
Let's get it on the calendar for now, and let's see if we can, I want to make it productive, obviously, especially if we can get a candidate to come speak to us about this and make sure they understand what our issues are. That might be a valuable time to do that.
Yep. Same time? Should we keep the same time going forward, 12:30 on a Monday? All of our schedules are busy. Damien is like, yep, it's as good as any other day and any other time. So, all right, we shall do that. Any other business for today? Excellent. Very productive meeting. Alexa, glad that you're going to be joining us. Thank you so much.
Of course, and if anyone wants to reach out me directly, has any questions or wants to learn either more about the childcare side or the tax credit, if you have a business or someone you know that might be interested in purchasing tax credits, I will put my contact information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Enjoy the
too.
week.